Games and gamers. This is fun. This is one of the presentations I really enjoy doing. It's really good fun. How do we think about games and how do we think about gamers? And what are the implications for trading? Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at it in the beginning by looking at Startrader. Well, 12 months ago, we had maybe 2 or 3 out of 8 people in the world living in countries where Startrader has an office or has people. And today, 5 billion out of 8 billion people on the planet live in countries where we are active. That's a big, big change. And if we look backwards if we look at changes as a whole, then one of the big changes I've experienced during my life is that my first computer was black and white IBM. I then upgraded my monitor to instead be amber and black. You can see a picture at the bottom of this. And I thought that was really cool because everyone else was using a black and white monitor. I had one which was amber and black instead. That doesn't sound very impressive. Then the first graphical user interfaces came along and it changed everything about the way that we interacted with computers. Suddenly we had things like drag and drop, very, very different. And you certainly did not want to go back. Color displays came in. In the beginning, when color displays came in, we thought, not necessary. We don't really need it. We're running spreadsheets. We're writing Word documents or the equivalent thereof. Don't really need color. What's the point? But color is now what everyone expects. And gamers and gaming as an industry is an area which will influence the way that all of our user interfaces are built in the future. Big changes are coming our way. And we see the kind of playfulness of gaming and gaming even on mundane tasks like getting paid. It's an amazing thing when you have a phone or you have a PC and you make a withdrawal and boom, bang, and suddenly you have money in your bank account. That's an amazing thing. Vice versa, you make a deposit. You do a couple of things and suddenly there's money on your MT4 account, MT5 account. All of these things, to me, fall into the category of Arthur C. Clarke from 1962, where he said that any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. To me, it's incredible. You swipe and suddenly a payment has been made. To me, that's really cool. Now, that type of playfulness is something that we should be expecting from all of the trading environment that we have in the future. Our institutional clients definitely expect us to be up to date and modern. I worked for Nokia for 10 years, and towards the end of my time at Nokia, we launched Snake. And Snake was the first proper mobile game. And it was incredibly popular, really, really, really popular. That's not competitive anymore. And I assure you that if we look at the institutional clients that have joined us over the last 12 months, they demand more. They want latencies like this. They want deep market depth. They want risk management, which is world-class, and they expect the company to be sufficiently strong from a capital standpoint so that if they want to withdraw a large amount of money, they feel comfortable it's going to happen. They want to be able to swipe home $1 million without worrying about it. All of those things are possible, and all of them are from the new world, not from the old world. So let's think about gamers for a while. Well, it's easy to dismiss gamers and gaming as being intense work for idle pleasure. It's very hard to build a good competitive computer game. The first Snake game was built by one software engineer in Salo in Finland. Amazing. Today, if you want to build a rich environment, it's something much, much more complicated. It takes deep budget and big teams to build something that's competitive. Big expectations. And when we look at these things, we immediately think, is that really business? Well, let's just remember that whenever we see something, we look at it from the perspective of things that we have known before. So we need to think openly about this. We need to think openly about how gaming style user interfaces will come into the world of trading, and it certainly will do. We have so many thoughts filters in our minds that put things into particular slots, make us efficient. We need to think freely. Let's think freely for a moment. Money is something that helps us sharpen our minds. And Hogwarts Legacy, the latest Harry Potter game or themed game, is a great way of sharpening our minds. Launched on the 7th of February, it had $850 million of revenue in the first 2 weeks. That's an incredible number. So far, and we're now at the end of April, so far, Hogwarts Legacy has had over 500 million hours of gameplay on the system. 500 million hours. This is a big game. It has a huge effect. How should we think about Hogwarts Legacy? Well, let's put it in context of artificial intelligence, and let's look at it in context of, is it relevant or not? First of all, too early seen, unknown, and known too late is what Juliet said when she stepped out on the balcony, having fallen in love with Romeo. Romeo was out in the garden, and the reason she said these words was because she had just realized that Romeo, although she loved him very, very dearly, was of the wrong type. So too early seen, unknown, known too late. It was not the same when Mikko Terho over at Nokia and I bought 1 unit each of the Apple Messenger in 1992, and we immediately realized that, hold on, touch-based screens are going to be the future, definitely going to be the future. And 15 years later, Apple launched the first iPhone. Incredible, incredible. So we humans will often overestimate the short-term impact of change, and then we underestimate the long-term impact of change. Gaming is coming in, it's coming in heavily, and one of the big drivers for gaming is artificial intelligence. You can use artificial intelligence both for more efficient game development and also for improving the gaming experience itself. So how come that's relevant now? Well, it's kind of relevant now because artificial intelligence is accelerating so quickly. In 2012, typically when you built an AI model, you trained the model on approximately 150 gigabytes of data, whereas today most models are being trained on 45,000 gigabytes of data. That's an incredible change. Also, the computing power for training models has gone up incredibly. You can see the numbers on here. And the most powerful computers today are doubling their capability every 6 months. So the ability to use AI for game development and in order to enrich game environments is flying. And you can see it on a simple thing such as Motorica.ai, where Motorica.ai has recorded thousands, tens of thousands of us humans walking around and behaving in different ways. They've categorized those people in different ways, and it's now possible to direct game characters using AI within game development. So if you have a situation where a number of zombies are walking across and suddenly 3 young girls come running towards you for help and you pull up a gun, you realize that no, that storyline doesn't quite work. Well, with the help of AI, you can change that. So now you have a number of young girls walking across the screen and you have 3 ogres running towards you very quickly. And the young girls take out machine guns and shoot the ogres just before they kill you. So you can model that and try different variants. You can direct those things without doing hard-coded development each time. The cost of developing computer games is therefore going down big time. And the accuracy with which it's possible for game designers to get it right is going up really quickly. So AI is driving the speed of game development, the quality of game development, and is also being used in order to adapt the game on a running basis so that you have a new experience each time you come in. AI has a big, big, big effect on gaming and gamers big time. Now, let's get back to business for a little moment. Well, if you look at the $1 billion that we are spending on games, then in 2023, approximately, we will spend about $250 billion on games. Is that a big number, a small number? Well, it's a kind of a big number because the total number of dollars that the Ukraine war has cost so far is about $300 billion, maybe. My point is that we're spending like a similar magnitude of money on game licenses as big real-life events. This is big business. And in 2030, according to a couple of forecasters, we're going to be spending $583 billion on games in different formats. I don't know if that's true or not. The point is that these numbers are big. And how we think about this, if we dismiss gamers and gaming as being something frivolous and unnecessary, then we think this is not important. My point with this slide is, this is big money. So we should definitely be taking this seriously. And it's also big if you look at the number of gamers, if you look at the number of billion people who use games on a daily basis. Depending on who you ask, it was 2.1 billion people in 2016, 3.09 billion in 2023. There will be 4 billion people who are gamers in 2030. I would take that with a pinch of salt because are the numbers really going to be that big? But that's not the point. The point I'm making with this slide is that a lot of people are gamers worldwide. And a lot of people identify as gamers. And our job as providers of online services is to speak our customers' language. That's rule number one. Always speak your customer's language. So if the type of communication that our customers expect are based on their daily gaming experience, then our user interfaces need to do the same thing. It's a big, big change in the way that we think about trading. We need to adapt to the way that people are trading. And a lot of these people who identify as gamers, they participate in games. It's a collaborative experience. They don't see it as being me and the game. They feel that they are in the game. Their avatar becomes almost as important as they are. They identify inside the game. That's a really big change in the way that we engage with our customers worldwide. Huge change. People live in games. Maybe in the future, when we do promotions for financial services, we will be promoting to people's avatar inside a metaverse instead of promoting directly to you as a person. Maybe we'll be promoting to, maybe the main interaction will be between my avatar and your avatar, and our communication is by proxy. The world is changing, and gaming and gamers are changing the world. Big changes are ahead. So what's it going to look like in the future? Well, maybe what we trade are virtual assets in a virtual trading environment paid with virtual currencies. So stay tuned, because the future is coming quickly. We're looking really hard at this at the moment. In the meantime, okay, the basic principles of trading remain true. So if you don't have an account, land on a planet, get going, get yourself comfortable. When I choose the right trading environment, it depends on who I am now and where I want to be in the future, that journey. So depending on where I am and where I want to be, I will be using different tools in order to achieve my goals. Right now, the way we do that is with dedicated account managers. So I talk to the team and I ask them, hey, what tools should I be using in order to do my thing? And I warmly recommend that you also talk to your dedicated account manager in order to understand which tools are most efficient to help you achieve your goals. In the future, that will be virtualized. So our sales teams will be strengthened by in parallel also having AI to help people choose the right tools. That's similar to what Microsoft is doing with GitHub, where software developers can develop software, and then you have something called a co-pilot, and the co-pilot is in parallel generating code, and the software developer can say, oh, I'll take this one, and so forth, and then generate code. The speed of development can be all the way up to twice as fast if you're developing together with a co-pilot compared to developing software on your own. Radical change in the world of software development, and we're seeing similar things in the world of trading. So gamers, definitely you have reason to believe that there will be big changes. In the meantime, talk to us. Talk to your dedicated account manager, work out the environment, space in which you want to be, and we will do everything we can to help you achieve your goals. Join us now, all the gamers.